Let's move on. At this year's UN Climate Conference, a top focus is on implementation of climate goals, and the UN climate chief, Simon Style, minced no words when he said that the world leaders will be held accountable on the promises that they have made. Speaking at the opening of the COP27, the new executive secretary of the UN Climate Convention said that the conference should shift the world towards implementation of previously agreed upon plans to cap the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Friends, today a new era begins, and we begin to do things differently. Paris gave us the agreement. Katowice and Glasgow gave us the plan. Sharm El Sheikh shifts us to implementation. We must demonstrate this transformational shift to implementation, putting negotiations into concrete actions. Every corner of human activity must align with our Paris commitment of pursuing efforts to limit temperature rise to 1.5 degrees.
The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres gave the opening remarks at the COP27. In his address, he said that the clock is ticking and we are losing in a fight of the lives. Guterres called for a solidarity pact wherein everyone accepts the goal of limiting the rising temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius. He also emphasized on the importance of cooperation between the world's largest economies, the US and China, in achieving these climate goals.
I'm calling for a historic pact between developed and developing economies, and especially developed and emerging economies, a climate solidarity pact. A pact in which all countries make an extra effort to reduce emissions this decade in line with 1.5 degree goal.
At the COP27, much of the talk is likely to be on making rich nations pay compensation to developing countries which are suffering the ravages of climate change. The UN Climate Conference this year is also laying emphasis on accountability. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak arrived in Egypt earlier in the day. This after he had reversed his decision to skip the conference earlier, following widespread criticism at home and abroad. Sunak is also expected to call on governments to deliver on the promises made at COP26 in Glasgow a year ago. It was the time when host nation, the United Kingdom, helped to broker a wide-ranging climate pact, much of which is yet to be implemented. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.